Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. You are about to join a frequency that will open your mind, expand your heart, and activate your spirit. Thank you for joining Kelly Meehan, Spirit Baby Medium and Master Energy Therapist. Kelly believes in the power of the Spirit Baby. She speaks with babies in spirit before life, in the womb, and after life. She supports, teaches, and guides others to tune into the intuitive and mystical parts of life for greater wisdom. Join her in meeting your soul baby and build your connection and relationship with deep love and trust. Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio with your host, Spirit Baby Medium, Kelly.
Welcome to episode 106, February 5th, 2021. Q&A live with Spirit Baby Medium and Medical Intuitive and Mentor Kelly, that is me. You have questions, I have answers. Please join me with any questions, shares, comments, and more. And so what I want to say is February 5th, I'm like smiling, maybe almost crying. February 5th, 2021, 10 years ago today, I gave birth to my oldest son, Rain. And it's an interesting story. It wasn't the best birth in the world, but don't we all have our own stories that lead us down the path of the unknown into really, I feel like, transformation on many levels. And when I had, I wasn't that prepared. I wanted to say I was somewhat prepared. I felt like I was a spiritual person having a spiritual pregnancy experience, but it was a very hard, challenging time. I feel like I carry very heavy shadows in my pregnancies, and probably more than anything to clear energies, lineage energies, my ancestors, those before me, just trying to pave the new, beautiful path forward, as many of you that are tuning in and doing in different ways with lack of conception or even with your birth loss, right? And so today is a celebration. I cannot believe he has lived here for 10 years and watching him grow and who he's become. It's like a double digits. And so today, even this week, I took my family to the snow. That's what you do in California. When you live in Southern California, you take them to the snow. Up in the mountains, you could go from wearing Crocs to boots because the elevation could go from 1,000 to 6,000 to 10,000. And we have the beautiful mountain terrains here. And so today's like birthday week, I would say. I just want to be so much in appreciation of who he is, who he's becoming, and the challenge, right? The challenge is like the intensity, but also the love and the pureness that this relationship we have built over this time. And he's a very humorous little being and very wild-spirited always and very just action-oriented, very kinesthetic. And I love him, and we love him, and we celebrate him today in many different ways. And he really is, him and, of course, my other son, but mostly my firstborn, is the stepping stone into the work that I'm doing, because I initially started the work called Birth Healing after I felt like I needed some really deep healing. After Rain, is like, I always joke and say he cracked open my second chakra. He just, physically, emotionally, spiritually split right open. And I thought it was quite beautiful that all his due dates in 2011, 10 years ago, was it rained. It did rain because he's a winter child. I say, you're a winter baby and your brother's is a summer baby. And we all fit in some type of seasonal, right? I'm a spring baby. I said, my husband's a summer baby, so we got 2 summers, a spring and a winter. We don't have a fall. Actually, our kitten, Oak, was born in the fall. There we go. Now we're complete. Not that you have to have all the seasons to be complete, but excuse me. But today is a big day. I had a lot of pre-birth communication with my son. It was like nonstop with him in the womb. More than anything, I was like, oh my gosh, and I was like really going deep into these places with him, seeing him all the time and being able to connect. And I feel like that's what really helped him be born too, is really having that connection. And then, of course, motherhood comes, and then, it's so intense, and especially if you have 0 people to help you. And we had 0 families. We had nobody. And it really, you don't realize how important it is to have a group and a tribe and to have people come and take care of you and connect. And so, of course, fast forward years later of birth healing, I would call it, and that the second being that entered our life would be so much different. There's like, okay, there's a plan. People are coming, and I'm open to receive. And this is the thing many women have a hard time with is, why is it so hard to receive? There's so much giving energy from the heart, giving from the womb of creation, but the receiving then becomes twisted and obscured, and it's like unavailable when it's like, wow, like the feminine being the womb holder has such power, right? Because you have the ability to create life, either a portal, right, of creative life, but also a portal of death, and where life kind of takes its moments and enters and leaves. And so much mystery in that. There doesn't even have to be, there doesn't have to be a final answer or thought in that, but we want those answers. We want to know more. And this is where I always would challenge people, is to definitely expand outward, to listen, to call in those other soul energies of like-mindedness, but also sitting in your own heart center. I almost imagine that as I say that, you're sitting in the queen's throne of your own heart. And what does she look like? What does she feel like? And what has become of her in this time, in this timeline of 2021? And maybe she's a bit bruised and scarred up, but still quite beautiful. And in her imperfections and perfections, she arrives because she is light. You are light. And your baby being is light too. And this union and connection of creation in the great mystery, the beauty, the fear, the suffering, and the love. So I know many are joining in to have a conversation, to connect. And I'm going to just kind of jump in because I have these ideas like, well, maybe Kelly, nobody will show up and we'll have these, not that I have a problem with not talking, but I want you to take a moment now, kind of check in where you are and really, if it's crappy, if it's amazing, if it doesn't matter where all that emotional stuff is. It does, but it doesn't, right? And so just taking a moment, taking a breath, feeling your feet on the floor, and just noticing your surroundings, and then really calling inward. What is your story? What story are you painting in this world? And how is your story? Maybe it's full of dreams, it's full of creative energy, it's full of sorrows and also sufferings, but just look at the story. Don't feel super attached to the story in this moment. And just take that story and see how you can really feel into the embodiment of you. Yes, in your mind, you can really think and kind of create and build a story, which is really beautiful. But see how that body part of you also is in that lovely, dreamy space of imagination even. And that's what I feel like is important to take people on in connecting with Spirit Baby, with your child of light, is using imagery, imagination, psychic connection, dream space. All of them are interconnected, all, informed with each other, coming together in different ways. And I feel like we'll add this and then I'm going to go and see what questions are coming in. But if you're on the line and you're on the call, you can always hit *2 and it'll raise your hand and we'll get you right here and we can have a conversation. Just me and you. And a lot of people listening, but it'll just be me and you for a moment. We can just imagine that for this moment. Wherever you are, on your Spirit Baby communication practice, your connection, I feel like number one, imagination is your best friend. Use imagery, visualization, imagery, imagination. And the more you know about that and what that means on its most deepest level, and I know many people do and some absolutely don't, you'll begin to understand so much more about Spirit Baby World. Second, don't have misinformed communication and impatience. Like that one, right? Misinformed communication. Our minds, our slave minds, our ego minds can be so darn difficult, right? Really impatient. There's an expectation because in light body you can create in a moment and a thought, but here it's a little different, right? We're told things are different, and so it creates more friction. So don't be misinformed on your communication. Don't make it something that it's not. Allow it to be something expansive and powerful, and stop being impatient about it. The next I would say is trusting, action, and living fully. How you live fully really is an access to connecting with creation and creative force. And even, let's say you're dealing with a death within the womb, a death on many levels, a rebirth. You get to be in the rebirth of life. And the soul is a wise one, isn't it? We say the soul of ourselves, the soul of these beings, all intermixing, connecting on many different levels. now I want to see here. Let's see. Okay, star 2 if you want to jump on what we'll call it the hot seat. No, that doesn't sound good calling it a hot seat because then you may feel like it's burning you. But isn't that what they say? Isn't there words for that? I don't know. So let me see here. I'm going to see what kind of questions are coming in. We do have, we do, me and Spirit Baby Radio, that's the we. I do have a team though. I do have a Spirit Baby Medium team, assistant and my shipper and all that. Okay, let's go here. Where can I find the questions? I see one question coming in. Okay, let me see if I click all that, incoming. Okay, maybe it goes like this. My husband and I have been trying for a second child for about a year. Our first baby was a miracle, conceived naturally after 4.5 years of infertility. Okay, age 41, super young. While preparing for IVF cycle, what do you feel is blocking us, or do we need to do to call the second spirit baby into our family? The biggest question people have, where is my block, or where is my obstacle? This is the ego slave mind, because what is the perception of a block? Is there actually one particular block? Like if something came up, it's like, hey, you know, you need to look at the sunshine more, or you need to eat a chocolate bar every day. I mean, I'm kind of being silly there for a moment, but I do feel like there could be layers of what this is. And there also is timing. There is, you know, and I know 41 feels like there's like a persistence around that. And you're able to conceive, you know, I love that you're a miracle child. And so where's this other being? What kind of relationship are you creating? And you can do it in partnership. You're in partnership, so it's conscious conception. It's you and your partner together. So working in different angles. And you could do all the acupuncture and all this holistic stuff. And I would say, yeah, I mean, that could be really amazing and purposeful. And anything that's going to set your body to a calm space and have your energy running through a very kind of hypnotic slowing down is always going to be good, because in that slowdown, in that the next level slowdown, you can't just sit back and go, oh, I'm going to think myself into being calm, which is a little helpful. Or you also can't say, oh, I'm going to sleep more, because your adrenals are active and your nervous system is active. So sometimes we think that we're calm and we're actually in a hyperarousal state. And that's where I love the somatic psychology work. I say everybody should go do that. We'd have a lot more calmer people in the world. And more just centered people, grounded people, making choices from their adult and less their child. Because most of us here, especially in what's happening politically and virally, it's like there's a lot of operating from a child space, intermixing with the adult. So to answer your question, I mean, I can't fully answer your specific journey. Jasmine, that would be a one-on-one where I'd really have to look at your energy and go deeper into your conscious field and connecting with baby energy. But I can just say, just based on it feels like you are doing a lot of different things. It's not like you're not doing anything. And I know you're maybe nervous. Maybe you're looking for your son to come in. I don't know why I'm saying son. And you're just like, I'm not sure. Like, what does this feel like? What does this look like? Keep doing the things you're doing and sit down in the quiet of the heart. There's such a quiet place inside us, and it can take time to get there. And then kind of move in and trust that baby energy is in communication with you, because I do feel like it's so misinterpreted. People miss out that baby is always in communication. I've seen it over 1,000 times where baby will literally explain the environment of the room or different things, that they know that they're here, they're with you, you are preparing, you are calling it in, you are part of it. And so you get to see what becomes of that, what develops, and what creative energies are wanting to arise next. Well, thank you, Jasmine, for being brave and posting your question here. Let's see what we got here. Another question coming in. Wait, let's see. Is anybody raising their hand? Star 2 if you want to be so brave. If not, it's okay. Sometimes the questions coming in make people feel a little bit better, but I'm still holding out for that energy. So let's see our next question here from Stacy. Hello, my husband and I are on the donor egg path, and I'm curious if we still have connection with our spirit baby, even though I'm not able to use my own eggs. Thank you kindly. So, of course, this is a big question. Donor eggs versus not donor eggs, embryo adoption versus not embryo adoption. That is the vessel. The vessel, I know we always really want a lineage to our vessel because it makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside. But having assistance with this way is really powerful, because lineages do want to change. And really, if you take us back into history and time, or into the spiritual realms, really. Everybody's intermingled, and there's not such a oneness. Yes, genetically things are different, and even the physiology. And so you having to trust with your partner that best beautiful path. If you have that golden sparkly egg that feels so aligned and synergistic with your body, because maybe sperm isn't good, maybe eggs aren't good, that's okay. You're like, okay, we're working with old lineage of stuff that wants to be cleared. And so welcoming this beautiful opportunity and seeing how baby energy wants to become a part of that and attach that. And I've seen it all. I've seen IVF. I've seen embryo adoption. I've even helped someone with your surrogacy. I mean, there's so many different ways. Adoption from another, mother, womb space. And so there's not one way that baby energy is going to connect in. So you get to sit and receive that. You get to listen. And this is the biggest thing that I teach in Sacred Embryo over the 8 weeks, is what is your listening like? And then what are the different pieces of that listening connection? Because in the listening, you're going to be able to make the choices that feel the most expansive and that feel more leading, even if you're nervous, even if you're fearful. So kind of sit inward, sit in the heart, the queen's throne of the heart, like I said earlier, and see what wants to be poked around. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's easier said than done. You may wake up one day and go, I feel like crap today, or my hormones feel off, or I feel, hypoglycemic or low blood sugar. So don't feel like, I have to force myself now to have this communication and this connection with my body. It's okay to tune into where you are. Some days we just need to lay around and do nothing, not call in anything, So just be honoring of that. I feel like also for anyone else listening, you're probably like, yeah, I can see that. That's my space too. Well, thank you, Stacey, for sharing that, and I hope that's helpful. Okay, here we go. Elise Clark is my angel baby. Oh, around me. Does she know how much I love her, and will she give me a clear sign soon? Oh, this is okay. So Elise Clark, so here's how that works. Yes. Oh, Joycey. I hope I said that right, Joycey. It was such a beautiful name. It feels so fun and so connected and so colorful. I almost feel like colors when I see her name, colors, like rainbow colors, multicolors. Of course she knows that she loves you. She loves you too. And so ask her for a sign. But here's how this works. This is where you can't be hard in your thoughts and expecting something to look a certain way. So when you're opening up into that inner psychic structure, into the inner mediumship of you, it's going to look like a certain way. And I see this a lot. I hope that you're in the group, The Afterlife of Spirit Baby, on Facebook, because that specific, nice, intimate group there's so many stories of connection, and it just shows you the more connection you have, the more it continues to build. And don't be scared of receiving signs. I would definitely encourage, this kind of question, and then those that are in that space too. I'm actually doing something I've never done before. It's next Saturday, February 13th. It's 2.5, almost 3-hour workshop, and it's very affordable, and it's very interactive, and it's kinesthetic, auditory, visual, and I'm going to show you how to connect with your child. And my goal really is you're not leaving that workshop until you get some connection, because this is what the babies want. This is what the children of light want. They're in communication all the time, and if you're not listening to that energetic space, that visual psychic space, you're missing everything. And that's heartbreaking, and that's sad, and it's overwhelming. And yes, there's going to be days where things feel so intensified, but, and I'll be sharing this in the next week at this workshop, it doesn't mean you can't be in deep grief in a really dark place and still have that crystalline energy of light come to you. It's not one or the other. This is like mind over, spirit. And so I encourage you, Elise, to sit with her. I feel like there's something really strong energy there. And so maybe she's like waving to you constantly, and maybe you're like, well, I have to see it a certain way. There's something about a dog that comes up, though. I don't know if you have a dog or there's a dog that kind of jumps around. There's that dog energy, I almost feel like, can be a form of connection, of communication. And babies will, children of light, when I say children of light, I'm talking about babies from specifically stillbirth and infancy lost toddlers that are just children of light. They're not, they may or may not be coming back into an earth experience in this timeline. And so I love child of light, because a spirit baby I feel like, in my terms, I should say, is more connected to maybe conception or miscarriage, the spirit baby's kind of moving around. But so your child of light, again, I encourage you. And reach out to me, email me if this workshop sounds good. I think that in your time zone, though, because I see you're in Australia, let's see, it could be very early in the morning, so I don't know if that would work. But you can always privately email me at spiritbabymedium@gmail.com. Well, thank you, Elise. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to drink a little bit of I made myself rose cacao with coconut cream. And it tastes amazing, absolutely. I'm not going to lie. Look, I want everybody to drink cacao. It's so incredible. And here we go. We have here from Kristen in Germany. My husband and I have been trying to have our second child for about 3 years. I just changed to an OB/GYN who I really like and have had a few tests done. Is there anything in particular that we can do to encourage and support our baby to come to us? Oh, it feels so your message feels so uplifting and light. I feel like this choice that you made feels really supportive. And there is, this gets tricky, right? It's like, well, you have a child, and where's our second? It's been 3 years, but you're putting energy into it. You're working with it. It hasn't been. I feel like there's an energy sometimes when there's year after year and there's like so many questions because there's almost like trying so hard to expand into something that's good. You go to the doctor, you get things checked out. Sometimes they got it, sometimes they don't got it. So this is where the biggest part to this is your intuition, connecting with your body, embodiment. Where is the rest of your body? You don't have to have every single answer. You just have to have enough of inner listening. And what I mean by that is it's okay if other parts of you are broken. It sounds silly to say it like that. For example, I'll give you a great example. Years ago, I was having a lot of head colds connected to grief, connected to other things. I was like, what is with these head colds? It would just kind of come in. And what I noticed was, even though the head cold was there, virus energy, right? It's there. I don't feel very good. I actually was still able to do the psychic work that I could do. And I thought, that's interesting. How is that possible? And what I realized that we can definitely have deficits and dysfunctions, but the psychic spiritual energy is so much more clear. It doesn't need all that junk and all that drama. So this is where the embodiment practice comes in. If you know where your energy is, you can work with different parts of your body that may be in alignment or not in alignment physiologically, and how to bring it just enough, I always say, in alignment, so then you can be open to receive. And so I'm saying that because whatever, the tests and things are getting done, maybe they're saying, okay, this is a little low, or this is a little high, and it's good to go, okay, maybe I should look into that, but also sit with it. Sit with the heart space. Feel into the body. Things are said or shared. Like, is this true for me? What does this feel like? Am I in denial? Or is this really true? Or are they actually wrong? So yet again, coming back to intuition and connecting with baby energy in different ways. There's so many different ways. Reading books about it, journaling, Spirit Baby Oracle cards, I always feel like are really good. That's my thing that I sell, as well as different ways of using sound, creative art projects, music, dancing, nature, meditation, walking out in nature, talking to baby in this calm, open nature environment. So that's some of the things I can offer you. Well, thank you for sharing the question here. Let's see who we have here. So Marissa, California, I'm undergoing fertility treatments and have embryos in storage. Can I still call my spirit baby even though conception has occurred? How does it work with IVF? Oh, this has been like the question I've been getting lately, which is so fascinating. So one of my students had this question. And I actually wrote a blog about it in 2015. Gosh, that feels like so long ago now that I think about it. Because it was a very big question then, and I haven't really come into that question quite often. And so here's how I see it. And this is my philosophy and perception of it. The soul doesn't get so attached to an embryo unless it needs to. So someone's like, what about having an embryo frozen for 15 years, which happened, right? This woman for 15 years. Because the spirit of a child, it doesn't work in our timeline of energy. To them, could feel like a minute. To us, it's a lifetime, right? And so trying to see if you can receive that perception around it, that the souls are ongoing, powerful personalities of consciousness, where the embryo itself is an organism of science. So the cells, eggs and sperm coming together is a potential of life. But who's attached to that potential of life? This is the mystery, the uncertainty that we don't know. Is the baby actually born? Is the soul attached? Or is that just a possibility in a vessel? Because a soul is free-flowing. A soul doesn't stay connected. Even in pregnancy, this really freaks people out a little bit sometimes. Why would the soul hang out in the body? Does it really need to? Can it be in many places at once? It could be a part of your body and growth and organism, but also can be outside of you. It could be with your partner. It could be with your neighbor, your best friend. It could be with grandma, all at the same time. How powerful and difficult is that for us? But if you are a supernatural-minded person, like I am, it actually makes quite sense, and there's a sense of understanding in that. So very excellent question. I feel like it's been coming up a lot lately. So call your spirit baby and say, I have this beautiful opportunity for you, and I would love for you to come in this way, and I'm here, and my body wants to work in this way with you. And that's really saying that IVF is needed, because sometimes IVF is not necessary, especially if somebody says age. I see probably, I would say 100% of women that come to me and tell me that they're only doing IVF for their age, I don't actually see them do very well with IVF. There has to be a problem, I always feel like, and maybe that's my bias there, because I only see IVF being really useful if there's actually an issue. If there's not an issue, then what's the problem? Then you have to find maybe there's a different way. And it can't be, well, I'm older and my time is running out, and then you're forcing IVF upon the body in ways that are, fail after fail. I'm not trying to scare you. I don't want to scare you or other people, but there is a way to set up IVF for success. I do feel like that. There's a way to do it slowly, intuitively, psychically, nutritionally, in a way that feels synergistic. And I've taken people on that journey privately to see the different pieces of that. Because, of course, what's my job in that is the emotional and spiritual work, because you do want that to be a part of the journey. And that's where also with any type of fertility support, you do need that piece, whether it's a therapist, a healer, or a coach. That is a huge, huge piece of it. And so, trusting, connecting with a boy or girl or neutral energy, and continue forward. Thank you for your question. Let's see here. Okay, Brittany, I want to say that's Ohio. How do I know when it's time, how do I know when it is the right time to try again? This is my second miscarriage. Oh, I'm so sorry. Is IVF just not for us? Should we try a more natural approach? So that's the tricky thing, right? There's so many different natural approaches. There's natural IVF. There's this other method. I feel like, I can't remember the name of it. Two clients offered it, had heard about it. I want to say it's called a Catholic method. You don't have to be Catholic to do it, but I feel like if you were to Google that, maybe look into it. I don't know why that's coming up now with your energy, but the Catholic method is they look at all the natural ways to get into conception before using some type of extreme intervention. And it could be just tweaking around the hormones, different things in your body, and you want to feel good that physically you're doing everything. But also then you want to go, okay, what is this next piece? Is this now about my body? Is this about baby? Is this about partner? It's okay to not have those final answers, but it's okay to kind of go deep inward and make it like, Operation Brittany 2.0, like, okay, we're going to get deep. I don't want to have to keep having multiple loss. Like, what is this piece? What is this next inner discovery? And to get into your spiritual detective ways to see what wants to be uprooted, what wants to be reshifted, and see what could come next from that. So, it's IVF. I know we're in such a technological world, right? It just seems like that's where a lot of the push is going, but it isn't for everybody, and that's okay. It doesn't promise conception either. That's the piece where it feels encouraging, but it's really such an individual experience. And even baby, sometimes baby doesn't want to come through IVF. That one, no one wants to talk about that though, but I've seen that a few times where babies are like, it just doesn't connect with them. And what do you do with that? You have to either, work it out and figure it out. Okay. Well, thank you, Brittany. So Jessica, I'm open to joining live. Wondering if my spirit baby is there and if I have a message for me. Jessica, Colorado. That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I almost feel like I feel like there's probably more than one baby with you, but also it's like they're just hanging out in the background. So, seeing what that connection is. Maybe they're just chilling with you and you have a lot to say and maybe you're interacting and creating relationship with. And so, I continue to encourage you to talk to the trio, maybe the group, the gang, and see what else are you needing next on that journey. Is it playfulness? Is it, patience? Is it surrender? Is it, fill in the blank and see what comes up. Maybe even now you could sit with baby energies or one baby and say, hey, I need one specific baby. Can you come to me now? I need a symbol. Give me a symbol. Whatever comes in your mind is the first thing that comes to your mind. There's a message in that and follow that. But, don't go into doubt or go into skepticism. Go into a space of receiving. Thank you, Jessica. Okay, someone said, how can I be a live guest? If you go on, I'd love to have a live guest. That'd be fun. But just so you know, everybody will hear you, not to scare you. You could come. You have to dial the number. Actually, maybe calling in the number. So the number is 425-440-5010. Again, 425-440-5010. There may be an international number, actually, but of course I don't have that prepared. I think if you have my newsletter, it's in there. The guest pin is 979134#, and that is 979134#, and that will get you on the phone line. I think you can do it through web call, but you would hit *2. And *2 will bring you into raising your hand, so then I could see you. So let's see here. Rachel Windsor, do you have a start date for your Spirit Mentorship Program? This is a part of my work already. Wonderful. I think you emailed me recently. I've been on vacation celebrating the Big Ten, and so I'm going to get back to you about that. Yes, if people are highly interested right now. I know the Spirit Baby Mentorship. If you are a Spirit Baby intuitive and you want to take your gifts to the next level and be of service and the next connection with that Spirit Baby energy, definitely you can send an email, spiritbabymedium@gmail.com, and I will next week you will see more information about how to join and be a part of that. And it's going to be super awesome. It's going to be such a different format, so interactive, and when I've done it before, it's so powerful. The different people that are so different. Everyone is so different what they bring into that Spirit Baby energy, and I want to cultivate that because I know that someday I won't be doing this, and somebody has to do it. So I want all those Spirit Baby intuitives. You've got to do the work. You have to have confidence and do the work. It's not going to just turn up. It has to be done. We need conscious connections and New World energy. So yes, I will be getting back to email, and thank you for sharing that. Let's see. Okay, I just have a few comments in here. Deanna's here. I hope I said your name right. Mindy, okay, Baltimore. I just got a positive pregnancy test after a FET. I have 2 previous losses and would like to know what I need to do differently. Oh, gosh. First of all, I want to say congratulations. It's so right. It's so hard. You're kind of maybe feeling like you're walking on gentle eggshells at times because if you've had losses, and I spoke about this quite often when we're going from loss to pregnancy, the energy around it is fear and trust, and it's very nerve-wracking, right? There's so much to say because you're in pregnancy now, and so that's positive. So how do you keep that connection? I don't know the depths and details of your energy to say, well, this is what it looks like for you, and this is where you would go with it. So the general energy I could say is that you just listen you just listen to your body, but not in a hyper-focused way where it feels like it's exhausting. I feel like you do that. Don't exhaust yourself. Don't go into perfectionism. Go into the sloppiness. Go into the innocence and the calmness and the pureness, and nothing has to look so perfect. But you do just be present with your body, and at times when you're not present, be loving with yourself. And, continue to talk to baby, not in desperation of don't leave, I want you. It's not about that. It's more of what is this relationship, baby being, that you are growing inside me, that it's so, especially early on, it's like, wow, I don't know what's happening. I don't maybe feel that much, but something's happening, and I'm trusting that with my heart. So, Mindy, using your heart energy right now is going to be very valuable. Go into the heart. I want you to see the visual colors of the heart. I want you to breathe with the heart. I want you to smile and think about your heart. I want you to see electrical currents of energy moving all around your heart, even if it's been through hard times, it's been through beautiful times, yes, with grief and loss, but if the grief is okay, it's allowed to be there. It's not going to take you down. It's just a part of your natural connection to who you are. And so see what next plays in that. Homeopathy is excellent. Energy medicine, energy healing work. Reiki is excellent in pregnancies, and homeopathy is non-invasive. Nothing bad's going to happen. It's very gentle. Also, continue to just to listen and to see what wants to serve you, baby communication, as I said, but there's different ways to do that. The Spirit Baby Oracle cards, which unfortunately they're kind of down on the website right now, but they'll be back up in the spring. I took them, I kind of closed it down just for a little bit to reorganize things, but those cards, women who have had loss in pregnancy find them so extremely helpful. To be inspired, to talk to baby, pull that card, you look and you go, oh, look, I got this answer, and take a breath, it's okay. And so just stay on it, just stay connected, continue to ask yourself if there's anything that has to be said or shared, and just, again, be with the heart space. Well, thank you, Mindy, and congratulations again. Here we go. Question from Fiona. Thank you. Can you have an early miscarriage, 5-week sac that does not have a spirit baby? When does the pregnancy get a spirit baby? Thanks, and how the devil did this. That's awesome. Yes. I know it's you. Yes, you're 13 weeks. Yay. Congratulations. Wonderful. Beautiful. Love it. But yeah, maybe you're asking, connecting, curious. It's a very curious question, right? Again, the soul is attached even before there's a sac, even before there's an embryo and egg, right? This is the thing that confuses people. Not everybody's set up that way, but there's a lot of people that have the soul, and they're just kind of, I want to say waiting from our perspective, but their waiting is more of the vibrational timing, because as we know, in different years, there's different vibrations of consciousness, and so babies are attaching and coming into those consciousnesses that they're meant to be a part of. And so I do feel like there's a spirit baby, even, before conception, even if there is an empty sac, because that's the biology. Something is going on from that biology and some agreement that we may or may not know. And so when does the pregnancy get a spirit? So, that's just my perspective of it. So kind of seeing it from that the soul and the spirit can be there. And I know in birth psychology, when I was learning about that a little bit 15 years ago now, 15 years ago, there was always that awareness of conscious, sentient energy before connection. Like, how is the mother bonding with baby even in before this, the place of conception and coming into that kind of energy. Well, thank you for that question. It's a good one. Of course, we're going to say congratulations to Fiona. 13 weeks. Woohoo! How many? Let's see, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that would bring you 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have to count in my head. I'm totally at least I'm not counting on my fingers. Yay, second trimester. Good energy. Let's rub it off on everybody. Let's see, here we go. I feel like more questions are coming in. I'm going to do the best I can to answer as many as I can. So if I don't get your answer, your question, maybe next time. Let's see here. Let's see, maybe any live people. Oh, we're going to go over to some live people. I like a live conversation. So we have number one here. I'm going to unmute you, and all it says is New York, New York. Hello, New York, New York, the Big Apple. Their number is 347921. That sounds familiar?
Hello.
Hi, New York, New York. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What brings you here?
All these connections with the babies that I'm fascinated about. Actually, I sent you a question, so please ignore that because since we're alive, we don't have to go through that. I worked with other practitioners connecting with my babies, and I was doing the heart chant as well. And I many times was able to connect with them and even got some guidance from them. For example, they would tell me IVF might not be for you. And it probably wasn't because I tried twice and it didn't work. But recently I feel it's very difficult to connect with them, and I was wondering if they are still around and how can I get more guidance from them? How can I get signs from them? So I have this belief that I'm going to be a mom no matter what. It's just a question of time. I just find it a little bit more difficult to connect with them now. And I always felt I'm going to have to, so I don't know. I cannot explain that.
Well, no, I mean, having that sense of knowing is really important, and you're not alone. I've seen this, and I've heard it from other women questioning, going, I don't know, but I know it's happening, and that's not a bad place to be. That's okay. I want you to, kind of sit into that space of trust with it and go, okay, there's something happening, but it's our minds that really make us, right, that really battle us. And so you're feeling this connection. How are these beings coming to you? Or being, I'm pluralizing it for you. There could be more, there could be more energy in that. And so seeing what those next kind of pieces are of feeling like you're doing all the holistic things properly and feeling like that connection with baby. It's not about perfection with baby, right? It's about, I feel like, it's about enough of just awareness that you're having. As I said, baby's here, right? But the problem is we sometimes don't really fully know how to hear them, or we have an expectation. And that begins with how you sense and feel and connect with energy. So it's like, are you a feeler? Are you more visual? Are you have that sense of knowing that's stronger? Let me see here. Say your name for me.
Juana.
Okay. So I'm going to just share a few things that come up around your energy, kind of. I'm going to share maybe 3 things that come around your energy. And this is just a really kind of little peek into your energy, because I feel like for me to sit and really get some insight is a little bit different. Something around your throat comes up. So I don't know if that's like a thyroid thing. So making sure that that's efficient and that's working properly. Enough. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? There's women that it's not about perfection, just enough. Your mother's energy comes up around you. It feels kind of a bit much. Let's put it nicely. It just feels like a bit much. So there may be some stuff with your mother that really comes up very strong, and maybe it's been a long, I want to say the word battle for some reason, but a long process of healing and just kind of developing and connecting with yourself, whether that was a good relationship, whether that was a difficult relationship. There's energy around that. I kind of feel a little bit of a boy energy that comes up. I keep seeing this kind of, but without getting trapped on boy-girl energy, but there's something that kind of is immediate around the space. So those pieces, let me see here. I'm going to actually pull you some cards here too. Spirit Baby Oracle deck, Answers for Spirit Baby. What is your biggest question? Let's see if the cards will reflect that. They may not reflect it the way you want, but we'll see.
Am I on the right track with with probably not doing IVF or just doing natural IVF? Trying again, maybe, I don't know.
So I picked you 3 cards here. So one of and you have a theme in your cards. There's something about being outdoors. Are you in New York City? I know it's probably a little cold.
No, I'm in Long Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know Long Island. My grandmother lived in Massapequa for a long time. My family's over there. So let's see. So the two themed cards here you have is please go on a walking meditation with me. Let us share in sacred conversations, as well as trust your intuition, meditate with the trees, the sunshine, and the earth. And your final message is, I whisper to your healing heart. I trust our communication together. So I feel like the theme in these cards is something about listening. When you're meditating is to be outside, to be in nature, to be in the air, because there's something where it doesn't feel staticky. So if you're in a building or you're in a space that feels loud and noisy, it could be a bit disruptive. So baby wants you to be in the sunshine, even if it's a walking meditation, because it could be cold to sit somewhere. And just to have a conversation with baby where there's no distraction, no interference, just you, nature, which is a very helpful, clear element, and just connecting with baby to see what is sitting next in your heart. That feels important. And whispering to your healing heart. Your baby says, I trust our communication together. So there's something about your heart energy that feels really important in that connection. And so this is where you have to really drop in and say, this next decision I make, I'm trusting in it, even though it may feel a little scary, because I've seen women go back and forth. I've seen women go, I'm doing IVF and this feels right. And then they go, okay, it doesn't feel right anymore. It's like, okay, then what do you do next? Like, well, I'm moving back to natural. And I've seen women conceive that way. And I've seen women conceive in other ways where they go, well, maybe you need to take a break, kind of reassess everything, because some people's bodies don't like IVF that much. And so it's hard to find the balance. It's not going to be easy. But it's, the listening, the journaling, the writing. To me, I feel like you're more of an empathic person. I feel like you're a feeler. And so using your feeling qualities to its advantage. So sensing into the decisions to make and know that whatever choice you make, you're navigating into spaces that are going to support you, right? And that, that may take some work and time to see. You may have to get some routines. This is why I call it a spirit baby practice. You're practicing, right. You're being with a certain kind of rhythm of energy, and you get to kind of see, how that, continues to evolve.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, definitely IVF didn't work for me twice, and I really trusted my body that I can do it naturally. But now what comes up is this idea of natural IVF, and it just gives me joy. It just makes me very enthusiastic. I'm not afraid of it for whatever reason. And that's I'm trying to see if I'm aligned, like feeling this with what the babies want, but I don't know, because again, in one of my sessions before with somebody, I was told, baby said that IVF, it's not for you. So maybe it was not at that time. Maybe the natural one is different. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you have a girl embryo? Do you know?
I don't know, because it was transferred fresh and it was never tested.
Okay.
Yeah, it just didn't happen.
Excuse me. Yeah. It's the way we talk about it. I was like, this is girl. When you talk, it's like, what if the girl embryo versus the boy energy? So, yeah, listen to that. Listen to what it is. And be okay if it changes. This is the thing that we get stuck on. Well, I get this one thing, and then it doesn't change. Energy's always changing. And like I said earlier, some babies don't want to be born that way. And it is hard when you go from using technology and then now, because you're in your mental space, in your psychology, it says, wait, we're using this one method, and that's the way. Now you have to unhinge all that other stuff and go, okay, there's a different way. And this is why I call, conception a creative conception. We do have to be creative with it. Like surrogacy is creative. Using, different sperm and egg is creative, or doing intervention is creative. It's like, this is okay. There's an approval in that. But what we don't think about sometimes with IVF is that there's such a desire to have family But that soul is challenging individuals to say, I'm not going to come that way, so let's do this differently. And whoa, it's like that requires a lot of depth of heart, because then it's asking you to look at a different angle and perception of your experience of life and this awakening for this being.
Would the walking meditation help with that mom's energy that you mentioned? Because I really have a really, really good relationship with my mom. So I'm wondering, speaking of healing, I keep trying to ask myself to see if I find an answer about what is it to be healed.
So maybe look at it like we're all in this world on different healing missions, right? And so you can, I feel like if you were to sit in some more quiet time, because that's what the cards are saying, there's something about being more quiet than you are, to kind of drop into your body. And this way, I almost feel like it could help you to write stuff down too, to then go, what is this next piece? Like, what is this piece that really kind of, and just write it down don't keep it in your head. And I feel like this could be helpful for a lot of people. If it's all in your head, then you're going to go back and go, what did I think earlier? What did I say? I don't remember. You can just write it down and let the book let the journal receive it, and then move on to the next energy that's calling. I feel like it's going to be more for you. There's going to be journal entries, because this energy wants to be put out, and it's going to kind of unfold, and you're going to see the unfolding of it. But it's very experiential for you. There's no final, answer. I feel like the final answer is going to be coming organically from your own process, and you're going to kind of see how that continues to unfold before you.
Okay, I'll do this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being so brave and raising your hands, and stay connected to Spirit Baby Radio and see what serves you next.
Thank you. You are a blessing for all of us.
Oh, thank you. Bye. Okay, I know other people will feel that connection. Let me see, we do have some other hands raised here. Let's see what's coming up. Okay, I love live, here we go. Pennsylvania, Angelica.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
thank you for picking my call.
Absolutely.
I'm doing well. Happy Friday, everyone, and to all your listeners. I was just so happy that you picked me. I was waiting. I was like, it's going to be me. It's going to be me.
I love it.
So, I actually have an appointment with you in March.
Nice.
Beginning of February, actually.
Yeah.
And I was so happy that you gave us this opportunity. I have an embryo transfer coming up on March 3rd, and I've been learning more about all of this spirituality behind it. And I just didn't know if perhaps what else could I be doing, right? I'm new to meditation, so I'm really trying my best to concentrate on that. I do acupuncture. I try to I had one embryo transfer that failed, unfortunately. It was a girl embryo. Now the one I have left is a boy embryo. And prior to that, I had 4 other miscarriages. So, and they're all no medical reasons. So it's been a journey, to say the least, right? But I'm trying to keep positive, and I feel like this is going to be a different mindset, right? IVF does involve a lot of the medications that kind of not make you feel as great as you would without the medications. But I'm trying to go into this one transfer with a better, more positive outlook. But I didn't know if you had any feedback for us. I mean, aside from the fact that we're going to have a meeting with you too.
I know. So no, this is going to be. I know. When we meet in the next week, it'll be way deeper than this moment right here. We're going to kind of touch upon it. Cause I'm just kind of listening a little bit to your energy, and I can definitely feel you're a very empathic person. You're an emotional sensitive, so you feel things. It's really intense. You're the person that would probably pull on the side of the road and save the bunny rabbit that got run over. That's your energy. Yeah, it's so weepy and so beautiful. And so, so for you to actually embody, the multiple losses, it's really big deal for you. It's really hard. It's not to say that other people, loss is loss, but those that are more sensitive, more emotional, more intuitive, and kind of their energy is just different. It feels so intense. And I do feel like in the one-on-one, we're going to get more answers. I'm going to look into all those lines of energy and see where is this loss in your body, but also what is this baby's energy? Like, is it the same baby? Is it a different baby? Like, what's happening? And so when I do get quiet, I like to listen, and I ask your own higher body self, but I ask baby, like, what's happening? So we'll definitely be able to look at that point. But for now, in this time, you know, you are going to be, like I said earlier, it's between the fear and the trust of, like, I'm not going to say, oh, you have to have it all figured out and, you know, be inspired and be positive, because you feel underneath the energy is so palpable inside you. And it's so strong that's like, oh, my gosh, there is heartache in there. And that's okay. So this is where I want to offer you permission that you're going to feel a bit of heartache and weepiness, but you're also picking your energy up going, okay. And so it's a little bit nervous energy. You can be in between both, because it is sad, but it's also a celebration, because there's creation and there's death, right? And there's rebirth. Yeah. And so I picked some cards for you to hold you off in your time over, you know, until we connect. And the 3 cards is my intention is with baby energy. Hello, you know, baby being, let's, you know, share something here for your mom. Like, what can she do in this time? And so the first card I got was, I communicate to you through dance and movement. Just listen with your body. And so
oh my goodness,
what
that's
that
amazing.
means, you're a dancer? Are you a dancer?
I love to do Zumba.
Oh, fun.
I love
yeah.
to Zumba.
So there's something a baby's saying with your dancing. You're in this beautiful energy of just connection. So your movement, you can just call baby in that movement. It doesn't always have to be meditation. Like, you have to sit and lotus, get quiet. It may feel like there's a lot happening. I feel like when you're quiet and it feels like it's a lot, I feel like because your emotional body is very expressive. And so when it feels like it's a lot, it's about grounding into your body. I almost feel like somatic psychology techniques, and I could show you some of those, what you could do to kind of find your ground. Another message here, baby, says, I communicate with you through journaling, right? And be open to spiritual messages. So writing could be beneficial right now as a channel even, or as an emotional tool, 2 parts. So the emotional would be your stuff. The channel would be baby talking.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to start that.
Yeah. The final card here is, can you hear me in your thoughts? I speak to you telepathically.
So it's interesting you said that. I've been doing your visualization about, like, meadow and trying to picture, you know, and if it doesn't happen, you said it may come into your dreams. And I've been dreaming of a boy coming to play. And once was just like a toddler type boy, and he let me hug him. I thought it was my son because I have a teenager. And then when he was a baby, and then I turned around and it wasn't my son's face. So I was just like, oh my goodness. And I just thought it was like one of my losses came by to say it's going to be okay, which is why I feel good about this transfer. And then I dreamed about another boy that came to play. And I was just like, oh, hey, yeah, you're here. You want to play? And I was like, okay. I was like, and he just showed up. And it was after one of your meditations of visualization.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So pay attention to that. Yeah, that telepathic space is the speaking. So you don't, I feel like so maybe you're feeling like, you know, the meditation's new or this, there's not one way to do it. So the dancing and movement is really important for you, writing it out. There's something about, so you're moving your body, you're really getting embodied, and you're listening to the journaling. And the telepathic, you know, it sounds like our own inner voice a lot of times, but it's actually baby communicating. So here's the thing that people don't understand. Baby doesn't have a voice box. They don't need a voice box. So unless you're clairaudient, it's not going to sound like a separate voice. The telepathy is going to sound like your own voice going inward. And there's messages in there. This is a space that's often not looked at because people question it way too much. Like, oh, how do I know it's not my own thoughts? Well, how do you know they're not your own thoughts? And then people get scared. Wait a minute. Because the world is just so much telepathy, energy. And so using that in this time. And so maybe I'll even call you out on it when we meet. Hey, did you do all the things that we talked about on the podcast? So then you can continue the homework. Because I like to give people homework to expand with, to continue to use, because it's really about you getting information from me, but it's really about you preparing and feeling like, okay, here's some like things I could like kind of look at and work with based on my own energy. And then you get to, yeah.
I'm looking forward to our meeting. I think it's going to be a little too close to my transfer, but I think it would still, now with me talking to you, you giving me homework now, I think you give me some extra to prepare.
Okay, good. I know it gets a little tricky because some people I have a wait list now that goes into March because, you know, I tell people book now. Otherwise, I wish I could just be like, I'll see you in a week. I know with transfers and things, people do question that. But I do say that baby is, you know, energy is energy. And I do want to trust that there's the right timing. So even if you've already gone through the transfer before, but you get some tips now. So that's good.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having
Angelica. Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, bye. We're just coming up to the end, but I have one more call here I'd like to take. It says Anonymous. I could text and guess who that is, but I don't know. Hello, Anonymous.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi.
Who's Anonymous?
This is Veronica. I'm sorry.
Oh, Veronica. I felt like for some reason I feel like I know who Anonymous is, but I don't know. Maybe I already stepped into time for a moment.
Yeah, no, thank you for taking the last call here. I had sent in a question and then I lost connection, so I tried calling this way. And I was just trying to see if you had any messages from, if you picked up on any spirit baby energy, and then if you had any messages for me, as I kind of know where I am cycling, how things are going and that type of thing.
Okay, let's see. The first thing that comes up around your baby, and we've connected before, so I feel like I know your energy, so it's a little bit, you know, things connect a little bit differently. Baby energy shows something, I don't know why, like I see a newspaper over and over, like showing you this newspaper. I don't know if that's just like go read something or something about, no, I don't want to say go read something. I don't like that, reading something, baby. I don't like that. I'll play you some cards, though. Let me play you some cards.
Okay.
See what's kind of coming up for you here. So the three cards here, one is, I whisper to your healing heart. I trust our communication together. So do you trust your communication? Baby, trust yours.
My communication from the baby. Well, sometimes I feel like I have a hard time hearing what the messages are or if the connection is there.
So maybe, do you feel like there's an overthinking of the message?
Can you repeat that?
I said, do you feel like there's an overthinking of the message?
Oh, just more like what you were talking about before, where you're like, oh, is this me making it up, or, you know, that type of a thing. So it's just more like kind of old habit that way, that where I might question, is it wishful thinking on my part type of thing.
So I want you to every time you think it's wishful thinking, I want you to say, no, that's truth. I want you to see if you can teach yourself to see the in between. So, for example, I saw baby, when you talked about your, you know, energy with baby, I saw baby holding a newspaper. I didn't not go there. I wanted to go there, even though I may not get the insight on what that means in the moment. But if you're not going to even get to there to receive it, then you're always going to be sitting back waiting for something that you're expecting. So now it's a matter of, you created an expectation. It's almost like if there's too much thought in it and less receiving imagery, less receiving energy. And that's the piece. Again, there's a training piece in that, right? There's a training. It's like you have to kind of go around that spiral in the mind to go, okay, am I overthinking it? Can I shift back in and sit inside my psychic space and let that expand, right? The other energy here is the card pulled, baby energy. I'm a star child. It's time to go outside and gaze into the mysterious universe.
Okay.
So outdoor, good old outdoor fun. I communicate, I really love that this card came up. This could be really helpful for you. It says, I communicate colors to you. I'm sending you colors through your psychic sense.
Okay, so that's a good thing to maybe try and pay attention to.
Yeah, so don't forget colors can definitely is a form of communication. It's energy in translation, and that to me feels really good. I love that you got that card. So I want you to call in colors with your baby and just start to receive different colors. And I don't care if you think you're making it up, because if everybody, you and other people, are sitting on the edge of making things up, I wouldn't be doing the work I'm doing, because I would just think it was all my imagination, right? Right? I mean, I could right. easily go there, because it does. I actually thought my visual world, I always thought it was my imagination, and then I said things, and people didn't like that. People were not liking that when you just say things that you see about them. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe there's a truth to that. And then taking it to the next level, and expanding more and more. And I was like, oh, this is the way energy is received. And it's just our interpretation stops it, because we try to overanalyze it, which is fine initially. But then you have to go, okay, now what? Because it's kind of like if I'm asking you to touch this piece of clay and you're playing with it, your senses of your hands are pulling the clay. You don't smell the clay, maybe. You maybe even if you don't see it with your eyes, you feel it with your hands. You're like molding the clay. So the energy and the way our psychic energy is the same thing. You're using one particular sense. So yeah, you're holding the clay. You could see the clay, but maybe you're not going to taste it. So there's other senses in action there. So you're like, when you're using this other sense of the self, that psychic and energetic self, it's going to have a different experience, let's say. Just like your touch has a different experience. What you hear has a different experience. So that part of you, that's the part of you I want you to challenge yourself with and explore more.
Okay. And then when you do receive a color, would you just ask what it means, or like? No.
I want you to take the color and pull it into your heart. So let's say you see a pink, you pull in your heart, put your hand over your heart and go, all right, I'm receiving this pink from you, my baby, thank you. And I want you to feel what that color is. And I want you to think about what the color is. And if nothing comes to you, that's fine. You're just training yourself to listen in a different way, and it can take time. It's kind of like, when you're like learning a new activity. Like when I was learning hooping, I sucked at it. It was kind of embarrassing, actually. And I was like, why can't my hips? They don't work. It's like the same thing. It was frustrating. And then I went on anti-inflammatory cleanses, detox, a lot of screaming and crying later, but I hoop effortlessly. It looks amazing. And I'm like, I don't know. Before it was a train wreck, and now, because it's a practice. Like I practiced. And so the same thing energetically, you're just practicing. So every day maybe even sit like, baby, send me a color. And this is where you're going to move into the trusting heart. Let the color come through and say, oh, you sent me, we'll say randomly, well, you sent me green. I don't know what green means. Then you're thinking too much. I'm just going to breathe, close my eyes for a moment, and let the green settle in my heart. Thank you. This green feels whatever it feels like.
Okay. Yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah. Thank you.
I hope so. Yeah, this is really, I feel like with your energy, Veronica, it's like all coming through for your energy. So yeah, sit with that, see how it goes, and thank you for being so brave to show up on Spirit Baby Radio.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, absolutely amazing. I'm sorry that I couldn't get all the questions. There are some amazing questions that have come through, and there's such intricate, detailed questions, and I so want to just really jump into your energy, really, and just move it around and really get deep with it and look at the little pieces, as many know. And the private work that I do, those that, I was so surprised to get some other energies in here connecting with the work that I am booked up until March. And though I have space in March, I should say, but booking now, just the beginning of February here to see where it goes. And hopefully in the spring we'll have some more drop-in classes with Spirit Baby Communication, and really crossing fingers if timelines and energy are kind of unfolding, getting a pregnancy workshop going, how fun that could be to sit in the pregnant energy and work with Spirit Baby Communication in that way. And so those are my upcoming things. Workshop, Valentine's weekend, February 13th, Saturday, Eternal Communication, 2.5 to 3 hour. It's a very unique format in the sense that it's very interactive, and I want it to be as though we are in person, but we are virtual, and there will be breaks, there will be exercises, but I am wanting everybody to walk away with their child of light communication experience and healing and approaching different parts of that in beautiful, loving ways. And wherever you are, in conception, pregnancy, birth, loss, listen to Spirit Baby energies, continue the journey, and Thank you for coming to the Q&A Live with Spirit Baby Medium and Medical Intuitive and Mentor, Kelly. This is episode 106, February 5th, 2021. Happy birthday. Happy 10th birthday, my beautiful Rain. I love you. I love you. I love you. And this is for you, my Spirit Baby embodied, and for all those, because of you, this is why I'm doing the work that continues to be shared in beautiful ways and loving ways. Blessings, everybody.
This is Spirit Baby Radio. Thank you for joining Kelly in the energy of awareness, love, healing, and soul communication. Please join the next episode at www.soulbabycommunication.com.